Nico is a cheerish, confident, happy-go-lucky woman. And she's actually taking everything and seeing the positive side of everything until this one day where something happens which she was not thinking about. And that changed basically everything in herself. Eline and we started studying in film school together, and I started with acting, and the reason why I started producing was because for me diversity in films, as a matter of fact, was really important. And of course, I was always inspired by Asghar Farhadi, Andrea Arnold, and Dardenne. And Eline and I really figured in the first year that we have similar understanding of films, and we like the similar films. So this is how we were like, okay, let's also focus on the story, because in the first year we've got this exercise where every one of us is doing everything, like directing, camera, and everything. And always the DOPs, we always also have to carry all the things in the flats. So we carried, and at the end of the day, just half of the technique was used, and we were like, okay, we have to focus on the story. What is happening in front of the camera? I mean, for Avatar and all this blockbuster, definitely you need this, but let's first try to learn this and focus on this. And this is how we both put up together our heads and started to take all the inspirations we have and the things we want to tell, and started to give Nico life.
I think for me the biggest issue was, and it's mostly sad, it's the budget, because this film is made out of like less than 10,000. So you can imagine that the three of us making this film almost alone, like of course there were some days we had professionals on the set that, like of course we are also professionals, but I mean like a sound person that is really like a studied one and really a master in its business and has long years of experiences. And sometimes we really were dependent on especially these departments, because as you know, there are some scenes in this film that to think that we can handle it alone, it was just like, of course. So and to be dependent without money on very many people that are rare outside, it was hard for me. But Sara is very good in this, to produce in a very pragmatic ways.
And of course, one of the reasons why we also decided to do it on our own and not with funding and stuff like that, because it is like this, that a lot of people tell you in the script, we give you the money, so you have to do the script this and this way. And for us, it was important, and it also built our confidence now, because we realized our voices are important, and it's important that they are heard, and there are a lot of people who want to hear it. So we basically did it on this because from the beginning we said, even if we fail, it's good, because we learn so much out of it. And now we realized, because Nico was so successful, I mean, we have been over 50 festivals worldwide, and we've been nominated for the German Academy Award, and this makes us really happy, especially even for people who are maybe doubting and saying, I cannot do it myself, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that. I think there are always ways you can find. You have to put in your work for free. You have to put in other people's work for free. So it's somehow, it's not so fair, but at the end of the day, it can also be empowering to say, no, if you really want to try it, try everything to do it, because it's worth it.
Very honestly, there were a lot of etapes, like times in this 8 years long project almost until now, maybe even longer, that I really thought, like, how would it ever be a film? It's impossible. It's like almost funny. What are we doing here? Like, and I was lucky because I was not feeling alone in it, because when I looked sometimes at Francie and Sara, they had the same accent. To stay together in this phase was very, very important. And I can just tell every filmmaker, like, stay together. And another thing is, like, if you don't stop, everything will be fine. I think this is something that I really tell myself for every project that I will do. Don't stop. Like, even there, it's fine to doubt, but don't stop. Finish it, and then we talk again.
On top of it, we had Corona. In the post-production, we had to face Corona. We could not go to our film school, so Eline had to take the editing suite from our school to her home. and we had to make it there. Everything was just like a mess. And even what Eline said with the feedback, I mean, feedback is good. And I think you have to, as a filmmaker, you have to think about, okay, what is my story? I have to stick to my story and see which feedbacks are necessary and are bringing me forwards, and which one are good, and thank you for them, but it's not my story I want to tell. Because now when Eline is saying that, I just remember we also had this talk about the title of the film, Nico. And I mean, we chose these names because we wanted them to be gender neutral and also not like they are belonging to this or this country. And then we had this thing of somebody told us, no, it's not a good title, because if you take the name of the character, it's always going to fail the film. And then we were thinking a lot, okay, how could we change it? And we didn't change it. And now, I haven't told you, Eline, but lately, like 2 days ago, I talked to somebody, and somebody told me in Arabic, Nico means fuck you. And then actually I was like, that's so perfect, because our whole story with this whole diversity topic and everything you want to face is really, really good. And the name works and everything. So even there, it was good that we went with the thought we had. I mean, it was from the beginning, it was for us really important that she is a confident woman and she's not a victim. And even when something is happening to her, she's not going to be the victim. Because we were also thinking about, okay, we are 3 female filmmakers, and beside of that, we are 3 humans. And what would happen to us? Because we would all consider ourselves that we can stand up for ourselves, not in every situation, but somehow we can. And what would happen to us? And this is why it was actually from the beginning in our heads that we want to have this kind of personality.
Like, we were not sitting while the script writing and thinking we have to make a film that gives hope. It was not even a thought that we are able to do that, because we were never thinking it will be a functioning feature. Really sad on some scenes, and I felt that hope feeling, and I felt like, what the fuck, where and when did we manage to do all this? It's really amazing that it happened, and I don't know why. I cannot tell you. It was not something we planned. If filmmaking comes from the heart, and it's not something that you plan and it goes to the heart, and when I see Nico, sometimes I'm able to see it again. And then I'm really thinking like, fuck, every fucking scene comes so much deep from us. It can just work. And I hope that many people out there will also do it like this and not try to reach clicks or a quote or something bullshit like this. I don't believe in this. But at the moment, I totally go through a very difficult phase in my directing career. Because there are producers that then when I come with my opinion and with my reality and with all my heart, then it's too much. Because I think that in many that Germany, especially as far as I know, is not far enough for this change. Like, this is actually my feeling at the moment. They want to change, but the moment the diversity person has to speak, everyone is annoyed, has no time, the script is not ready, we don't have time for this bullshit now. So I'm exaggerating, of course. I think it's in many other working, also in another way, and they are taking very serious. But me as a lesbian woman, I'm also aware that I cannot tell a person about it like a trans person. I cannot. I need to ask my trans friends, and I want to give them money when I. So it's a question of awareness, and I don't know. As a director, it's quite frustrating. I'm going through a tough phase, but I also have to see reality, and it's just not far enough. And I hope it will change, because as you said, there's a change, but I hope it's arriving soon.
The thing is, as Eline said, if we wouldn't have done it in this constellation, the film would not be like it is now. And this is also what I was saying at the beginning, that we said, okay, we don't want the funding. We just do it like that, because otherwise people are telling us what to do. And we also thought about pictures. Like, we've got this one picture where we have got this white man in the background and cleaning, and we've got the BIPOC women in the front with scarves and stuff like that. This is a language of film which is not shown like this. We always have this reproduced stereotypes, and because I'm coming from acting and I had the scripts before, I always so cliches and stereotype. And I'm not saying they don't exist, but if it's just this kind of stories, then there's definitely something going wrong. And this is also having a big influence in the reality in terms of homophobic racism and sexism, because this is what you see on TV. And in Germany, we've got things when we had this, I know this story that with a TV commercial, there was a script where in the first scene, a dog get killed. And they didn't get the money because they said dogs are the favorite animals of Germans. We cannot show this. But on the other side, we have got a lot of films where we see women getting raped, getting beaten up, getting even like jigsaw me, blah. And this kind of things do exist, and we are still not where we are at the moment because we don't have so much diverse producers. It is basically still in the producing level, male and white and cis, and and the thing people are doing now is diversity. It's somehow a trend, but they don't know how to use it. And even if they have got really honest purpose to do it, because I'm not saying they do it because they are bad or something, but the thing is they don't know about it, and then they reproduce tokenism, which is not diversity, because just if you put somebody who is queer or who is darker skin color or this doesn't mean it's diverse because the person is just passing by as an extra or something like that. In the industry, if the people behind the camera are not diverse, the stories are not going to be that way. So this is what we have to change. But it is a tough business, and tough because the money is still, and the power in this position, and the people are not educating themselves so much that they change it. And we have also to stop fighting each other, because I think somehow the system is also making it that people are instead of working together, and this is what the system wants, but we have to say we don't have to fight for one piece of cake. We need to get half of it. And then we have to collaborate and work together and not do what they want us to do, to fight against it, and then nobody of us will be seen or represented. Gracias por mirar nuestra película. Yeah, gracias.
My Spanish is not that good as Sara's, but I'm super, super proud that Nico is shown in Mexico, and I can almost not believe it. I wish you the best time, and I hope this film brings you also a bit hope. All the best from Germany.